Welcome. My name is Peter Strong and I provide online therapy via Skype. I'm often asked, is it possible to get psychotherapy if I move abroad? And it is most certainly possible through Skype, and it's very convenient for people living abroad who do not have access to a local English-speaking therapist. So I see lots of people in different parts of the world who are looking for online therapy for anxiety or depression, or for working with emotional trauma or other difficult psychological emotional problems that you're struggling with and feel that you need help in understanding and healing. So Skype therapy is a very good way of getting the help that you need, especially if you're interested in learning methods for working with your emotions more effectively. This is a different approach than traditional counseling, which tends to be based more on interpersonal relationships, and it takes a lot longer to produce results. In Skype therapy, we certainly will be developing a personal relationship, but the focus is really quite different. It's really focused on teaching you very practical, focused methods of working with anxiety and depression and promoting healing. That's a central feature of the style of Skype therapy that I teach online, which is called mindfulness therapy. Mindfulness therapy is extremely effective, especially for anxiety, and most of my clients come to me with problems with anxiety. Most of my clients have also tried online therapy in the past and are looking for someone who specializes in mindfulness therapy. Many of my clients have also tried conventional therapy and conventional counseling, and are looking for something different, something that really helps them learn how to work more effectively with their emotions. Most of my clients have also tried prescription medications, and typically they do not find those medications to be particularly effective. And I certainly do not advocate medications for treating anxiety or depression for the vast majority of people, because it simply masks symptoms. Medications do not treat the underlying condition. They do not help you process your emotions more effectively. It does not promote healing. It simply covers up symptoms. So, what are the features of Skype therapy that make it more effective than other forms of online therapy? Well, I would say the first most important factor is that Skype allows you to see each other, and that's really important for establishing a good communication so that you can learn the methods that I teach more effectively. So being able to see each other, I would say, is the key ingredient of Skype therapy, and that makes it different than talking on the phone or email therapy or other forms using the internet or online services. You need to be able to see each other. What are the features of mindfulness therapy? Well, as I said before, mindfulness therapy is very practical. It really looks at the mechanism of your anxiety and depression. It looks at the process that causes it, which is mostly in the form of habitual, reactive thinking, and also traumatic imagery that creates that anxiety or depression. So we need to work with the actual structure of your anxiety or depression or other emotions. And that's one of the hallmarks of mindfulness therapy. It helps you break free from those patterns of habitual reactive thinking or rumination that feeds anxiety and depression. It helps you develop a much different a view of yourself. It helps you build a more healthy view of your primary identity, something we call the true self in mindfulness therapy. Mindfulness therapy is a system that I developed over the years and have been offering through Skype. So the true self represents the larger mind, if you like, the big self. It's not the content of mind. That's often referred to as the little self or the ego. So the big self is not thoughts, it's not memories, it's not emotions, it's not experiences per se. It's the consciousness that is able to see these experiences. So that consciousness is the essence of your true self. Your true self is not the content of your mind. And that's a primary feature of mindfulness therapy, is learning what that really means and how to change your identity, essentially, to become your true self instead of becoming lost in the thoughts and memory patterns of the little self. So the little self is conditioned, essentially. It's based around conditioned emotional reactions, conditioned cognitive reactions, conditioned behavioral reactions, and so on. The true self is not conditioned. It is not dependent on any beliefs, thoughts, or memories, or emotions. It is that much larger space of consciousness that can contain all of those manifestations of the little self. When we get lost in the little self, in thoughts and emotional reactions and other habit formations, then we suffer. When we shift our identity to the true self that does not get lost in reactive thinking or patterns of habitual and emotional reactivity, then we do not suffer. We essentially learn how to break free from those patterns that keep us trapped in suffering. The primary practical component of mindfulness therapy is mindfulness meditation. Now, this has a very specific meaning in mindfulness therapy. Mindfulness meditation means meditating on the mind. It means establishing that relationship of consciousness, conscious knowing of the little self, the content, the thoughts, the emotions, the memories, the sensations. It's developing that conscious awareness of the content that allows you to shift your identity to being the observer, the one who sees the content, instead of being lost in the content itself. So meditation is about meditating on the mind. It is not trying to avoid the mind. It's not trying to escape from emotional pain. It is actually a process of turning your attention towards emotional pain and the content, but learning not to become identified with the content of mind, the little self. This is essential for transformation and for healing. When you can establish that internal relationship of true self seeing the little self, then that liberates you from the process that feeds that suffering of the little self. It also creates a space in which healing can take place more effectively. The healing is primarily produced by allowing the little self to differentiate and change itself, change its structure within that space to unfold and heal, which it will do quite naturally when you stop reacting to it. So creating that non-reactive space is really the most important thing that we focus on in mindfulness therapy. And as I say, we do this by meditating on our thoughts and on our emotions and memories and any other content in order to train ourselves to maintain independence and freedom from becoming lost in the mind. So if you'd like to learn more about mindfulness therapy and Skype therapy for helping you overcome your emotional suffering, and you're living abroad and you'd like to see an online therapist, then please reach out to me by email and let's schedule an online therapy session. Most people see quite dramatic changes within just a few sessions once you start applying these powerful mindfulness techniques that I will teach you, such as mindfulness meditation on the emotions and on the thoughts. So please contact me and let's schedule a session. Thank you.